Maybe the most embarrassing moment of my life just happened, and I had to come back and lay down to reset because I can't believe this just happened. So I'm in Vegas, and I wanted to go get a shape up. He finishes the job. I said, boss, how much you charge? He says, 30 cash. I said, $30. No problem. Let me Zelle you. He said, ooh, we don't have Zelle. I have Venmo. And I said, oh, I don't use Venmo currently. He was like, oh, well, there's an ATM right there. I said, okay. So I go to the ATM. I try to pull $30 out. Decline. I was like, okay. I try a different debit card, pull 30 cash out, decline. I was like, this is weird. They're watching this whole thing unfold. He goes, oh, I also take Cash App. I said, great. I know my right-hand man Ish got Cash App. So I call Ish. I said, Ish, do me a favor. Cash App this guy 40 cash and I'm a zealot to you. He said, bet, no problem. But before I was able to finish that call, the guy getting a shape up in the next chair goes, yo, hang up. I got you, bro. I'll make sure it gets. I said, okay, Ish, never mind. I hang up the phone. I walk over to that guy. I said, bro, what's your Zelle? I'll Zelle you the 40 and you pay the barber. And he goes, don't worry, brother. I'm going to pay for it. You know, sometimes life has us down and it's nothing to be embarrassed about. I said, no. I have the money. I just didn't have the Venmo or Cash app on my phone and the ATM wasn't working. It got declined. He goes, I understand, brother. I've been there. And I said, no, you don't understand. Like, I promise you, I have the money. As a man, like, I want to take care of my responsibilities. Like, I'm not letting you pay for me. He goes, yeah, brother, but as a man, we got to understand sometimes things are out of our hands. And I was like, bro. He started asking me, like, yo, brother, you got kids, man? And I was like, no, I don't have kids. But even if I did have kids, I have $30. Then he offered me a ride home. He's like, where you headed? I could probably drop you up. I said, oh, my fucking goodness. So then the barber chimes in, and the barber goes, listen, fellas, don't even worry about it. That cut is on me. You go out, enjoy your holidays. Like, just promise you'll come back to the shop one day. And I said, guys, no, I got the money. And they're all looking at me like, okay, brother, we know you got the money. So I re-download the Cash App. By the grace of God, I have exactly $30.12 in the Cash App. So I say to him, bro, good news. I have $30.12 in Cash App. Let me pay you this. But I wanted to tip the guy. I just didn't have any other money in my Cash App. So then the guy in the chair goes, listen, man, like, I'm really proud of you for, coming up with that 30. The tip, I'll make sure he gets tipped. Don't worry about it. Like, I'll pay the tip out of my own pocket. It's my good deed of the day. I said, bro, it's okay. Like, I got some money. But I just realized there's nothing I could have said in that moment that would have saved me. They probably thought I was like super broke and there was nothing I could have done. I had to take the L. I said, brother, I am so sorry. I'll come back and drop the bread off before I leave. He was like, don't worry about it, man. The guy in the chair tapped me on the shoulder. He said, I got his tip, bro. Go enjoy your holidays, all right?